It's G-Bear homesteading the desert. Here we are on September 16th already. I picked up some more drywall just now and some insulation over at the Home Depot, and I got 3 4x4x8s under there. They're cedar, and those are going to be posts for this new deck that I'm going to get put on here from porch, which will be 8 foot wide by 8 foot going across this way by the full 12 foot of the cabin. And that'll be my starter anyway. As I do the additions on that side over there of the cabin, I'll be adding more deck on there going across the whole front of the cabin. So I'll have an 8 by, let's see, 12 and 16, 8 by 28 deck or front porch. So anyway, the reason that I brought those posts up was because I also got some lumber here, and this came off a job I just finished for one of my old-time customers down in my local area, and we replaced all of the floorboards, and these are redwood were redwood floorboards, and they seem to be in fairly decent condition. Just need a little bit of cleaning, but I'm going to use those for the joists under the floor of the porch here, and those are about 12 foot long, so I'll be cutting them down to the 8 foot length that I need, and that'll leave me 4 foot left over on those. And that extra 4 foot I will be putting, because my joist will be on 2 foot centers, and then every 2 foot going across this way I'll have blocks in there, so it'll be plenty sturdy. It won't be spongy. And then I'm going to put an OSB flooring on top of it, and I'll have a porch. Then I should have enough to do the rafters up there at 2 foot centers. And I've got some aluminum sheets that are 2 foot by 10 foot back at the Tustin house, and I'll be bringing those up. They're corrugated, and I'll be putting those down on the roof and then putting a 1 by 2 strip on top of those, and I'll screw through the wood strip so that it'll give me a plenty sturdy roof and should hold up in the wind out here. Anyway, we did have some rain up here while I was gone, and it washed away all of the prints and tracks and everything. But everything is still in perfect condition. Nothing was touched. Didn't look like anybody came over here. The leak in my shower up there sealed itself, and now I've got both these barrels filled right up to the top levels of them, and I got both valves open. I've got the water turned on over there at the cabin, and I tested the water in the cabin. It's working fine. Pump comes up to pressure, all that stuff. So my shower is all ready to go for a little later on, and I don't know if I showed you that, but there's my shower. Gets you plenty wet. It's really nice and comfortable too. Those dark blue barrels heat up pretty well in the sun. Now we've had a wind going here all day. Look at my turbine moving. But I just checked it at the controller, and I'm only getting about 10 volts out of it. So there's something wrong with that thing. The amps on it are just about 2 amps. If you go 10 volts times 2 amps, we're only looking at, what, 20 watts? I'm supposed to be putting out 400 with that thing. So something's not right. I don't know. I'm thinking about going with a Turbine unit. They've got the 1000 watt 3-phase. We work perfect for my 12 volt system, according to one of my followers. And I think that's where we're going to go with that. So I'll be looking at getting one of those things brought in. And then of course I'm going to get my other panels together and make sure I'm going to get up to my 2.2 kilowatts of solar panels, and then back it up with 1,000 watts of wind. And if this thing is still putting out but not putting out enough, I'll still leave it up there. I'll just add another one, maybe right about where I'm standing, and we'll go from that. The Turbine I was looking at has like 11 blades on it. I was told that's called a wind wall, and not a fan, but it will pick up and produce in the lowest of winds. This one's been going like this ever since I got here earlier today. And while I did my trip to the desert, to the Home Depot, the wind is coming out of the north and the east. And it kind of switches back and forth a little bit. And that's different than normal. Normally it's coming out of the south and the west. But that's where we stand right now. Everything's looking good, and I will be hauling the ATV back on this trailer and getting it down to the dealership to find out what's going on with that. Because once the rains start up here, I will be needing that to keep this road graded. That really tears up the roads in no time at all when the water gets through here. You'd be amazed at how this desert soil just expands and aerates and becomes soft. Right now it's as hard as asphalt, but it will get soft as soon as rain gets on it. I did notice that whatever rain we did get up here while I was away actually washed down. Some of the stream beds have fresh wash in them, but over here I don't know if you can see it, but the soil here is all washed down going towards the motorhome, and you can see like the direction of the water, and the ground is pretty moist, even though this is pretty well compacted. So we did get some decent rain. It didn't seem to help any of the plants at all. There's one other thing I wanted to show you, and I forgot to do it in my last video when I left here, but over there where my pond is going to go, you see right in the center where they got those green bushes, and right about, let me see if I can get my finger on it, right about there, there's a little brand new green bush. That's where I found water or real moist ground. And right in front of it right now, the soil is all white and fresh sand in there because it kind of filled up with water when the stream bed flowed. That stream bed had water flow down it. And right there in front of those bushes is where it looks like I've got some white spot there, but that's actually clay and sand and stuff that washed into the lower section. Now, I had my witching rods out, and I was walking through here and witching, and I was walking in a northeasterly direction, and all of a sudden I got about let's say about right here. That's where Andy used to park his truck, and the witching rods signaled water running north to south, or south to north, but I say north to south because it runs downhill that way. So I looked over my shoulders, and right there on the other side of the grapevine, there's two bushes that are really green, and then way out there in the straight line run, the bushes are green going all the way across there, but all this other bush through the desert here is all brownish, off green. And then when I turned around this way, I was right in line with those green bushes over there in my pond. So I think there's an aquifer running under the ground right here. And when I get my trencher or backhoe up here, I think I will start digging along that line and see what comes up. I'm going to run out of time here real quick here, but I'm going to walk out here to the pond area so you can get a better look at where all that water settled right in the center of it. There we go. So water is available out here, and you can see the way the clay all bundled up right there. So I need to get my ATV back working and get some digging done here before all the rains come. I might be able to get a couple of puddles here, and puddles are good. I like puddles. Anyway, that's G Bear signing off here in the desert.